Good morning. This is Matt Sexton with the Florida Department of Transportation's CAD office. My presentation today is on Plan Set Manager, FDOT's solution for title block labeling and sheet indexing. Plan Set Manager, as you may recall, was released with the FDOT Connect 1010 MR2, which was the 1010-0200, and it has been ported to our current FDOT Connect 1011 workspace with some additional enhancements. Despite Plan Set Manager being an incredibly intuitive tool, this presentation will cover a surprising number of topics. I will discuss Plan Set Manager and its function as a labeling and indexing tool. I will also discuss the two different modes of Plan Set Manager, as well as its indexing functionality. Finally, I will talk about the sheet border replacement tool, which is becoming less and less necessary as of lately, but still useful for older projects. This is the preface to my presentation. Initially, when designing FDOT Connect for Open Roads Designer and other Connect Edition applications, FDOT did not port our previous sheet indexing and labeling tool into our workspace. We opted instead to use the native sheet indexing and annotation tools. But the needs of our users made it clear relative to our workflow and expectations that we should go ahead and implement our own solution for title block annotation. The July 2022 release of FDOT Connect 1010 included the Plan Set Manager and the new sheet border cells that work with the tool's functionality. There's your foreshadowing about that sheet border replacement tool. Right. By popular request, sheet borders are no longer auto-populated with the project info, but that can be easily filled in using Plan Set Manager. And as I mentioned in my last slide, the current FDOT borders are specially designed to work with Plan Set Manager. The title block information for these borders in custom item types that are linked to the model properties. Information is stored either in the professional information or project information section. The professional information contains information pertaining to the professional of record, and the project information contains information like your road number, county name, etc. And you can see here, this is a screen cap from Explorer inside of Open Roads Designer. You can see there's the model properties, and you see our professional info and project info item types. And of course, this was a general note sheet, so if anyone picked up on that. The professional of record information is stored in an Excel spreadsheet called professionals.xlsx, which is delivered with the FDOT Connect 1011 software. This template is located in FDOT Connect 1011 Organization Civil, FDOT, Data Templates. And I'll show you where that is later on. Once you fill out the desired information, you can store this file in your project or even in your work sets folder or another common location for site level access. So you can share that with your colleagues so that everyone can use that list of professionals of record. Or alternatively, if you want to keep it to yourself and put it on your own machine and make your colleagues do extra work, you can do that too. It depends on what kind of person you are. So Plan Set Manager will allow you to browse for the file. So like I said, you can put it anywhere you want. You don't need to have it in a specific location. And we found out during one of my previous webinars that you can change the name of that file. You can name it anything.xlsx and it'll still work because we have added that browse functionality to Plan Set Manager. So I know some software you have to have the file with a specific name in a specific location. That is not the case with the professionals spreadsheet. The one thing I'll say is don't edit the column headings. Just input new information into it. And I'll show you what I mean later on. We'll do a demo. So let's talk about single sheet edit mode of Plan Set Manager. If you want to fill in the information of a single sheet title block, Plan Set Manager has a single sheet edit mode. You can access this from the FDOT ribbon under the Actions group, selecting Plan Set Manager from the Plan Set Manager split button and selecting the Edit Single Sheet option. The interface is, I love this word, relatively intuitive. You fill in the desired information and click OK, and it populates the information into the title block of your sheet border. You'll notice there is a bridge section that in this screen capture is grayed out on the top right corner of the dialog. If you're in a structures sheet, or a sheet with a structures border rather, those fields will become active and you can fill them in. I'll demonstrate that, of course. You can also edit multiple sheets by selecting Edit Multiple Sheets from the Plan Set Manager split button on the ribbon. This is another interface that allows you to browse to a folder, whether it's the root of your project or a specific discipline folder. The top pane of the dialog populates with a list of sheets in that folder. That's DGN files that contain sheets, and of course, the sheets in them. Select the sheets that you want to edit, click the Move button or any of the buttons to move those sheets around into the bottom pane of the dialog where you can edit them. Once you're done editing, you simply select Commit Changes, and you're done. You might also notice that multi-sheet edit mode does not appear to include all of the possible title block fields. We simply didn't have enough room, enough real estate to display all of them at once, but you can hide and display additional fields by right-clicking on the column headings and selecting the desired fields from the right-click context menu. So you see you can customize your view in multi-sheet edit mode. Plan Set Manager also includes functionality to save a sheet list in Excel format. You can then edit the sheet list and title block information in Excel and then read it back into Plan Set Manager to apply the changes. This simply provides an additional option that can make editing multiple sheets easier in a more familiar interface. So if you really like using Excel and you're really a wizard when it comes to Excel, you can export or save off that sheet list as an Excel file and then read it back in. It is not a deliverable. It is not required that you include a sheet index or sheet list in your delivery. And now I did allude to the Replace Sheet Borders tool not being something that you might find yourself using as often now that a lot of projects have the new or rather current borders in them. But if you do have a older project, this is relevant to that. The current sheet borders are specifically designed to work with Plan Set Manager. So if by chance you have an old project that still contains those legacy borders, there is an app for that. The Replace Sheet Borders tool, this is another intuitive interface, love that word, that displays available DGNs in which you can replace the sheet borders. You simply identify the files that you'd like to process, select the correct sheet border, and then select whether you want to replace a single sheet border, which is the one that you have on screen. You can replace all the borders in the current file, or having selected a number of files to process, you can process all of those files at the touch of a button. And now a brief demo of Plan Set Manager. Yes, intuitive interface. Someone, thank you. Okay. I do see I have a number of questions. I might save them for a little bit later in the presentation. I know that one of them is about the FPID and road number being grayed out. I know there's a solution to that. I can't recall off the top of my head, Mike, if you want to answer that one in the dialogue, I'll answer that one when I remember the actual answer. Okay. There's Eugene, because everyone expected to see Eugene during my presentation. I am launching Open Roads Designer. It's actually appearing on the other screen, the splash is. And I'm going to create a brand new work set to do this in. I'm going to select the 0 work set template. Always use your 0 work set template when creating a new work set. Going to browse to the root of the folder and grab that blank file. We're going to create some sheets. What's my cat's name? That's Eugene, my little tuxedo cat. Thanks for asking. Actually, he's not little, he's a big floofy boy. Okay, this takes just a minute to open this up. If you do have questions, I'm sorry I forgot to mention this. It goes without saying, the nature of a webinar, there is a Q&A dialogue as part of your webinar dialogue. You can enter any questions you have in the dialogue there. I will answer them as best I can, along with my colleagues who are also logged in. In the event that I cannot answer the question during this presentation, we will be compiling the Q&A, answering the questions that we were not able to answer, and then posting that as a PDF file along with a recording of this webinar. This morning I received 2 questions already about whether or not we would be recording the webinar. We are indeed, and I will show you where we'll be posting those towards the end of this webinar. All right, so let's go ahead and launch. We're going to create some files. I'm going to create a general note sheet. In fact, there we go. I like doing this from scratch because it shows you some of the steps that are used to make sheets, and it also shows you that you can do this completely from scratch without anything being populated in there. I'm also going to create a plan sheet. Okay, close that out. Inside this plan sheet, I'm going to create a couple of sheets here. Assuming my models dialog pops up. Hang on, what did I do wrong? Aha, it's on the other screen. This is not how you create sheets in a plan sheet, but I'm going to do that this way. 11/17. Plus roadway plan. Okay, 3 of those. And let's create a structure sheet because I want to show you some of the functionality in structures. So let's go to structures and we're going to go with structure sheet files. We'll call this, hey, bridge hydraulic recommendations. Sounds like a great sheet to create. Okay, and go back to the general note sheet. Okay, I did want to show you what I was talking about previously with the custom item types. There you are. You look at the, actually, hang on. Sorry. Your items, the professional info and the project info here under your model properties. That's located under that general notes file. In theory, you could edit that information here, but we strongly disrecommend it. Let's close that out. Close that out and look at this sheet. Launch single sheet mode. Okay. So you see that you have access to all of the fields that are available in the sheet due to the item types. And all you got to do is enter information. Let's make that sheet number 3. Financial project ID. My road number. Let's see, state road 98 is a state road, right? And don't have a roadway ID. And here you are. You do have an option for up to 3 counties for your project. And you can see down here at the bottom, if you can see that on your screen, that under the county field, it does say top county, middle county, bottom county. If you want to have just one county, just fill in the middle county. The middle county will fill in and get rid of those other 2 counties. And oops, I don't have a professional of record. I guess that's the next part of our demonstration. So you see, filled in that middle county, got rid of the top and bottom county. Filled in your road number and sheet number. I put an 03 in there. You don't necessarily need to put a leading 0, but for some reason today I was moved to put a leading 0 in there for you. Okay, so let's talk about that professional of record file. If you want to find the professional of record template that we deliver, the easiest way to do that is go to Explore Directories up here on the far right corner of your ribbon, then select FDOT Connect 1011. This is going to open up your FDOT Connect 1011 folder, and that's regardless of whether you have a standalone workstation installation where that folder is local, or if you have a client server installation where that folder would be on the server. So this is not opening purely the local FDOT Connect 1011 folder. So if you have a client installation, it's not going to go to that one. It's going to go to the server. So this goes to wherever your actual organization civil folder is. So let's go ahead and click that. It's going to open up Explorer on my other screen. Select FDOT Data Templates, and look at that. It is right there. I do not recommend editing it in this location. Keep this as a template. Let's copy this somewhere else. Put it in my worksets folder because I'm going to share that with my coworkers so they can get to that, pretending that's on a server somewhere. As I said before, it doesn't need to be named professionals. So as a demonstration, I'm just going to change it to names. It's names of people. I assure you they're professional engineers, but the title is names. I'm being arbitrary. Okay, that opened up on my other screen because that seems to be the way today is going. Let's put in some names. Okay, so the cool thing about this spreadsheet is we do have the list of professional types already available for you. The reason why this is in here is because it places the appropriate digital delivery note on the side of the sheet border when you select that professional type, because the notes are different depending on what kind of professional is the engineer of record or professional of record for that specific sheet. If you see that your type of professional is not listed in this list, just let us know. We can totally add a new professional type and figure out what note needs to go with it if we missed anything. I think we pretty much got everything, but if we missed anything, just send an email to our CAD support email address and we will get on adding that professional. I am not an engineer of record or professional engineer, but today we'll pretend. I can never remember how to spell Swanee Street. I've worked for the department for how long? I don't know if my phone number is still the same. Okay. And then let's put some more people in here. Today, Chris is going to be a survey and mapper. And the cool thing about this is because you're working in Excel, Chris, I don't remember your phone number. I just call you on Teams all the time. So if you're all at the same company, you can do stuff like this and copy information down using Excel's tools. Vern, I don't know your license number, but I know you are a professional engineer. So there you go. I got that right this time. And Candy is going to be a land surveyor. All right, I'm going to save that file. That is now located in my work sets folder. Oh, by the way, be careful when you're using this function of Excel. Double check your, it can be funky there. I just showed you how to create random information. Okay, so we've got the XLSX file in the root of our worksets folder here. So we're going to go ahead and launch that single sheet edit mode again. And you'll see that I still don't have any professionals listed here. That's because I need to browse. There's your browse button. And it's looking in the wrong place for some reason, but that's okay. We can browse directly here, find that Excel file. And now you see I've got all of the professionals of record listed. And you see it populates that FAC note. You probably can't see the tail end of it, where it actually says what they're. Yeah, see, there's your rule there. So switch to Chris. Here's a different rule. To Candy. Same rule. Okay, so anyways, I'm going to put that professional of record information there. And there you are, engineer of record, my information, and you see it does populate that note right there. So we're done with this sheet. That was fantastic. That's great. Let's move on. What about multiple sheets? I'm going to browse to my project. Now, you can browse to your project or to a subfolder inside your project. So if you're just working on a specific discipline and you don't want to load all of the sheets from the entire project and you just want to load your one specific discipline or component, you can select that. So for example, if I just wanted to modify just the roadway files, because I do have a structures file, this pulls up just the roadway files. And you can move one by selecting it, or you can move all of them, and now they are editable. Some of these fields you cannot edit, like the model name, you can't edit that, but the sheet number you can. So say my plan sheet, that's going to be 04, 05, 06, right? I just noticed that I've got the wrong thing here in general notes. That should say general notes. Okay. And like I mentioned before, if you want to see more information, you can see, I don't need to know the model name. I don't need to know the short file name or whether it's read only right now. Yeah, that'll work. And I don't want to see my professional information. I'll tell you more about that later. So there you are. If you want to add your county in here, I know that all I have is my middle county, so that's cool. All right, so I've made some changes here. This is a roadway plan. And you hit commit changes. There you go. And then of course we can go see, now I fixed the general notes. Go to our plan sheet. I will be checking in with the questions momentarily to see what questions you have and what I can further answer for you. Let's see, what was it? Was it this one? Yep, you see nope, not that one. Okay, here we are. Roadway plan, sheet number 4. It did not remove my counties correctly. Interesting. Well, let's do a multi-sheet thing and see if we can fix that. Actually, you know what, let's go ahead and read that sheet list. So I will show you how to do that. It's not picking up on my structures sheet. Let's go find out why. I have a guess. That's because the bridge hydraulic sheet, when you create the file, does not actually create the sheet model as some files do. So let's go ahead and do that now. C, F.C, do that, and then find a B cut for bridge. Bridge hydraulic. And click OK. Excellent. That's the best structure sheet I've seen all day. So now if we go and launch Plan Set Manager again for multiple sheets, browse to the project, it remembers the project. There we are. We got all of that in there. Let's read the sheet list. Oh, actually not read the sheet list. We want to save out a sheet list. We have to move them down here first. There we are. Save sheet list. It's going to ask you where to save it. It does create the sheetinfo.xlsx file. You can save that in your meta info folder. That's a perfectly excellent place to save it. And let's go find that. So the quickest way to get to the root of your project is to go to Explore Directories, current work set. It'll take you to the discipline folder that you're in, but you can just go up to the top and select meta info, and there is our sheetinfo.xlsx file. Let's crack that open. Okay, so this provides all of the headings that you could possibly want. So not just the headings that were displayed when you saved out the sheet list. So you'll see all of the available fields are available. One thing I do want to mention is don't edit your professional of record information in this sheet list. Be very careful what you are editing, but look, we can go ahead and just get rid of all the other counties that we don't want. And then say, oh, Wakulla. Let's go ahead and fill in Wakulla there. That makes it easy. You can copy this down here. But look, it's going to sequence it, so let's not do that. What else is there? Okay, that's a good number of things. What about check the titles? That's the roadway ID. Where's my, project ID. Let's get the project ID in there. Copy, paste, woo, paste. Does not want to do that. But you know. Here's our titles here. Model description, file description. Where is my Okay, great. I'm gonna save that. We can go back here. Relaunch. That was quick. Relaunching Plan Set Manager. Select this. Gonna bring all these files down here, and we're gonna read in the sheet list. What this is essentially doing is filling in the fields for the information for these sheets. You say, I want all of that. Say, okay. It fills in the information. At this point, you still can make additional changes like, oops, I forgot to call these roadway plans. Okay, commit the changes, and you're good to go. Now, wait a second, I don't have a professional of record in all of these. And, you know, I said you shouldn't do professional of record in the sheet list. I mentioned that, right? So how do you do that in, it didn't look like it was easy to do. And yet it is. Select the sheets you want to edit. If you're using one of our more complex tools and you're missing some functionality and you're wondering where it might be, try right-clicking. We sometimes hide little Easter eggs here for you. So if you want to bulk update sheet information, that's going to bring up a sort of a multi-edit mode in single sheet mode. Oh, hey, I have a webinar today. So this is how you edit your professional of record. So say I want to sign all of these myself. Go ahead and put that right there. And I want to make sure I got all the project information right. Did I get all the project information right? Well, if I didn't, I could simply select that and edit those things. If you have a bunch of like roadway plan sheets and you want to put a title in that all have the same title, you can do that there. And then bridge information, which I didn't show you yet. So now you see, if I bring up my professional name, you see now my name is on all of those. And commit those changes. Let's go back to single sheet mode. I do want to show you in this bridge sheet. You notice how this was grayed out in the other sheets. Because this is a structure sheet, you can put in your bridge number. Oops, if I spell things correctly. And then your initials. And then checked by, and she will check this tomorrow. So there you go, fills in those. Alrighty, so that is the initials for structures, and I've showed you how to replace the professional record on all the sheets. The other thing I do want to show you is going to be the border replacement tool. That's located under miscellaneous tools. We've added a lot of miscellaneous tools. I will talk about the refresh models momentarily. Replace border, again, as I said in my presentation, this allows you to replace a single border, which would be the border that's in your active file. You can replace all of the borders in all of the models, or you can replace all the borders in the selected files to process. We do have selection of borders for you to use. The 11 by 17 roadway structures for roadway, or roadway for structures, whichever way that goes. The 36 by 48 roadway and 36 by 72. So those are all available to you. That is in the case that you have a project that has sheets from before MR2 of FDOT Connect 1010. So if it's FDOT Connect 1010, MR1 or earlier, those sheets will not work. And I did want to scroll back up and see the question about, see if Mike filled in the answer that I was looking for. I'm trying to remember off the top of my head. No. The answer is not there. Okay, so Mike, I'm trying to remember, there's a issue sometimes when someone would use the sheet border replacement tool and then certain fields would be grayed out and you had to, I think, just import the item type
Yep.
into,
Yep.
that was
Update
part
item
one.
types.
Update the item types, and that's done with Explorer, which I'm bringing up here. So you would go to items, and then was it?
I'm used to doing it through the utilities tab up top.
Okay.
And then hit the little down arrow button next to item types. So, yeah.
That's right.
And then you go to libraries and update.
Libraries.
Or pick the, you're catching me off guard here. Yeah, highlight the sheet info one. Is it that in libraries update?
Uh-huh.
We might have to double check.
I don't recall, but I've done it before and it worked.
Yeah.
So I'll make a video about it. It'll be great. I'll tack that onto the end of this one. So we assure you that if you run into that issue, there is a solution and it's relatively simple. The other thing I wanted to show you was the refresh models option. So when you're using multi-sheet edit mode, after you apply your changes, you might find that you have to open each model to get those changes to update, to get those fields to fill in. One solution is that you could plot your sheets using the plot sheets button down here, which I'll talk about in a minute, but we have created a tool for that now. It's essentially all you have to do is open and close each model. So you go to the refresh models tool, and then this allows you to, once again, in a very familiar looking interface, a number of our applications use something that looks similar to this. You can go to your folder that you want to be in. Let's see if I can do this. Nope, that doesn't work. Anyways, you can refresh the selected files, and seem to be missing a button, but either way, that'll go through all the models and update that information.
The other way to do it, Matt, is if you hit the plot sheets button in Plan Set Manager, it's going to create a PDF that will update all the text also.
Right. So that's what Mike's referring to, is what I had alluded to. If you do, say you made a bunch of changes, and then you select plot sheets, that will create like a project PDF or a PDF of all the sheets, but as a side effect of that, it does go into each model to do that. So it'll update all of your information in the process. So it's a neat little workaround to that. You can also create a P-set based on whatever sheets you have down here. So if you want to go ahead and create that print organizer P-set, you can do that right there. So that is another aspect of the functionality of Plan Set Manager. I did want to go over a few things that we have as far as resources on our website before I dive into the questions. So I'm going to give my colleagues an opportunity to put in their final answers for the Q&A, and then I'm going to improv the rest. It's going to be fantastic. So here's our website. You should be familiar with it by now, www.fdot.gov/CADD, CADD. So what I want you to be aware of is a couple of things. We do have our FDOT CADD training that we are constantly updating. This is available for your open roads designer. The Plan Set Manager information is covered in the plan development workflows. Plan Set Manager is all throughout that course I was looking at yesterday. So if you want more information and some sort of real world feeling exercises for Plan Set Manager, check out the plan development workflows course. Okay. Our FDOT CADD schedule webinars are listed right here. You'll see there are links that you can click, and that'll take you to the registration. You'll also find the webinar videos posted here, and inevitably the Q&A will be posted here. But that's how you register for those upcoming webinars. You see we're doing one every other week that is available to you for your training needs. Also, if you have any topics that you would like to submit, please send them to us. We'd be glad to entertain options for other topics for upcoming webinars. Additionally, we have been posting our webinars on the posted webinars page. So you see there's my March updates webinar right there with the Q&A. A little bit redundant, but makes it easier for you to find and easier for you to get that access to that information. Okay, let's check out the questions and see what we have. Okay, what's my cat's name? Already answered that one. That's the most important question that's been asked today. Okay, is there a solution to multi-row plan sheet title, or will it have the word wrap feature like Microsoft that will automatically fit the text within the border? So Chris answers and says, we have set up word wrap for the sheet title, but you need to enter spaces after the word where you want to see the break. So that functionality is there. Put all my sheets in order and save a sheet list. When I have to bring in the save sheet list, my sheets are out of order. Why? I don't know. That's a good question. I would love to. Oh, I hear someone unmute themselves. Mike?
Yeah, I'm not sure. We have to look into that one.
Mm-hmm.
I've never heard that one before, so we'd have to look into it. I don't know if it's set up to auto sort, but if it was auto sort, I would have thought it would have been sheet number.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll have to investigate that one. That's the first I've ever heard.
Yeah. I'm going to put up the email address for the CAD support right here on the screen while I do this so that I can answer these questions and say, by the way, send an email to this email address. So if you want to send an email to this email address regarding the sheet list, I'd love to troubleshoot that. That sounds like it's a mystery that needs to be solved. Okay. Unrelated to the webinar topic, that's just fine. We're here for support as well. Okay, I do see that Chris has said email CAD support. That does sound like a issue that needs a little bit more troubleshooting. Okay, is there a workaround to use the multi-sheet tool within ProjectWise? And I think we've got this question a number of times in the Q&A dialogue. Vern's response is not directly. We need to implement, or you need to implement ProjectWise Drive, and Mike has unmuted himself again.
Yep, that's all I was going to say. ProjectWise Drive.
Excellent. Read sheet list opens a dialog, but it doesn't seem to do anything. I had that problem initially when I was kind of navigating through Plan Set Manager, when I was kind of learning how to use it. I'm not entirely certain what might be causing that, but shoot an email to, again, this email address. We'll be glad to troubleshoot that with you. Is there a way to remove the professional type box within the preset 11 by 17 roadway sheet? I have a cell for a location. Oh, it takes up the entire space. We currently don't have any support for custom professional record cells. Presumably you could shoot us an email and I can document that and put that in the product backlog and see what happens. Can a sheet be part of multiple sheet info sheet lists, considering this for breakout plan sets, such as doing a reduced permit? Yeah, in theory, I think that sheet info.xlsx list, which again is not a deliverable, that's for your convenience. You can put multiple of those in the project, can you not, Mike?
That's correct. Just name them different, and when you go browse for it, find it. The main thing is don't change any of the headers. Text in the headers, or it won't pick it up.
Yeah. So if I was to go back in here,
and if you add any columns, it won't pick it up. It shouldn't break it, but it won't pick any columns you add to it.
So for example, I've already created a sheet list. I want to save another sheet list, and I'm going to go sheet info 2 and say I only want to have one for structure, so I'm going to get rid of these guys. I'm going to save a sheet list, call that structures. So in theory, you could have component level and project level sheet lists.
Yeah, it won't let you, well, unless we changed it, won't let you like pull in multiple sheet lists in one session. You can create as many as you want, but you can only pull in one at a time. So you can't add, you can't like pull up the roadway sheet list where it shows you the sheets and then pull in the structure sheets into the same session.
Right. As I recall, that's the way that other tool we used to use worked. It's just one at a time. Let's see, another question that seems to wrap around. Can we get functionality in Plan Set Manager to put sheets in the right order per FDM? That sounds like an enhancement that we could look at for the future. Does it matter if the Excel cells are center versus left justified, different text colors, etc.? I know that when I was just editing information just now, the justification changed on the sheets. Mike, it doesn't look at any sort of formatting, does it? You can do whatever you want with formatting.
Correct. It just reads the data out of the cell, nothing else about it.
So that's interesting to note that if you are looking at a really big project and you're managing your sheet information through Excel, you could color code stuff and go wild with it, as long as the data's there. Let's see. What if we have two bridge numbers? That's an excellent question. Let's see. Candy says, I've seen it done. Bridge number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Mike has unmuted himself.
Yep. Just whatever you type in that box is what's going to come out in that field. If you type your name in there, that's what's going to show up as the bridge number.
Bold of you to assume there isn't already a bridge named after me.
Hey.
So let's see. There you go. You can put in multiple bridge numbers right there. Once this webinar is posted, will subtitles be included? Oh yeah, we need to check on that. That would be a good idea, is to subtitle these. I do speak quickly sometimes. Can we edit the print to gray out specific logic names? I was actually thinking about that earlier this week, Mike, as far as selecting different pen tables relative to the plot config.
Yeah, we were looking into that. It gets a little specific about having all the paper sizes and everything. Just some error correction type stuff we got to add in. The best way to do that stuff right now would be generate a P set, and then you can go through and apply any of the settings you want.
Right. So you come here and select this, like that, do that, create a P set. It's going to take a second.
Yeah, and then once it generates it, then you can, set any of the stuff you want. Right now, it uses just the built-in FDOT pin tables, but that is on our list of adding that to it.
And once you create that P set and open it up in Print Organizer, then you can call me and I'll help you with stuff, because I eat, breathe, and sleep Print Organizer. So, okay, let's see what else, other questions I have. Let's go back to this so that people can see that. Where can you find the cat? Go ahead.
Sorry, I said there is a question you've covered quite a bit, not related. Well, it's related, but not related. Print Organizer and the line style issues.
Oh yeah, that's an excellent point, Mike, and thanks for bringing that up. We have had reports. This is unrelated to Plan Set Manager, but related to Print Organizer. We've had some reports that line styles are not displaying correctly in Print Organizer when they are displaying correctly in single print mode. This also affects some of the FDOT fonts and some other resources. We have isolated the issue and have corrected it in our config file. Presumably that'll be out in the next release. If you, in the meanwhile, need a solution, I can email that to you. I think Bob has compiled it into a number of different config files, but it's just a single line of code. But we can definitely provide that to you. So if you are experiencing line style issues with Print Organizer, let me know. Let's see, checking out the other. Please do a webinar of the Civil Labeler tool. Don't we have one of those scheduled? Let's see. Checking out the website. ORD labeling tools right there. That will be upcoming. So yes, we have one of those scheduled. Some of these we're definitely going to do some research on and subsequently answer in a Q&A. Go down the bottom list of the list here. Oh, right. I do see, Mike, that we did get a question about those line styles. So thanks for bringing that up. I was still scrolling down the list.
Yeah, there was 2 or 3 of them you'll see in there.
Okay, yeah, I can see that. You have multiple road numbers on the sheet. I don't think that it currently supports that, but that's something we can definitely add to the product backlog to check out. Oops. Yeah, I see. We do have multiple questions about the line styles. Okay. Is there any reason why sheet numbering isn't applying after committing changes? Yes. So it's possible that the models need to be updated. You can use that update models tool that I showed you, and that'll run through all of your models and update those models. So that's likely what the problem is. If that is not the case and the issue does persist, feel free to shoot us an email and I'll be glad to further troubleshoot that.
Yeah, we'll have a button on the next release just for that also on PSM itself.
Awesome. Okay, it looks like the majority of the remaining questions are things that I'm going to need to do research on and compile into the Q&A. So I will go ahead and say thank you everyone for spending this time with me this morning going over Plan Set Manager. I do appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule. If you have any questions that you didn't get a chance to ask in the Q&A dialogue, feel free to send us an email here. If you have any support questions, again, we are here to provide that support for you. So I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day. Thanks.